I'm the first funded client of the Small Business Development Center and the owner of Drive Green Car Rentals. Drive Green Car Rentals is an all-electric car rental company that was launched really primarily with the environment in mind. So the SBDC has been really crucial in terms of both our launch and our expansion over the last few years. The SBDC really took that initial jump and they said, you know something, we're looking for new businesses. We're looking for something that hasn't been done before. We're looking for something creative. Getting that call and knowing that there's somebody out there that actually wanted to go ahead and take that leap of faith with us was really exciting, and it was a big moment for us. I think one of my best lessons that I would have learned with my time at the SBDC is just don't mind what other people are saying, don't mind the noise in the marketplace, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing in business, there will be naysayers, but as long as you have a product and you have a brand that you believe in and that you're passionate about, there will always be a way, and through SBDC, we'll make sure that it happens.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our site wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme now, Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out to anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey. I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Since I've been engaged with the SBDC, not only have I gained tremendous business information, but the support that they give you for helping me to do the proper business step-by-step protocols. They're there to assist you. I can call my advisors anytime and they are willing to help. To navigate these waters is very tough if you don't have any information or any help. SBDC, they walk you through it. Not only do they walk you through it, they get you in contact with people, networking me and getting me involved with other small businesses. But support, number one, is the main thing. The money is also great. So live business for us has been crucial, mainly because they're receptive to our needs. They respond to what we want, where we rely on the internet, we rely on the phones heavily, we rely on money transfers through our website. The live business and the SBDC has been there, and I think that they're beneficial to us.
Growing up as a kid, I always had an interest and passion for animals. Access Accelerator was able to afford us the opportunity to turn a vision into a reality. Not just farm, but create a business. And then Berkshire Bahamas Farms was birthed. So the Berkshire, they're black pigs with upright ears, and they have white socks on their feet. So we'll have two different types of products. We'll have the full breed Berkshires, and then we'll also have the crossbred. And of course, the Berkshires will have a higher price tag on it. And animals are feelings too. We have a philosophy of happy until harvest. Outside of the pigs for pork, the chickens for eggs, we also have a community aspect where people can come out, do farm tours throughout the week. Schools, they bring the students out, they can learn about where their food comes from. One of the main customers of ours is Flying Fish Gastro Bar. They get our product and they turn it into a meal on their table. So the farm-to-table aspect works very well. Working with Access Accelerator has been a blessing. After Hurricane Dorian and being in the middle of COVID-19, we were able to had funding for construction to build our pen that we have, purchased a lot of property that we're using. We were able to source a farm truck and tools with the training that we're able to use to better our finances and business plan. So the overall goal for Berkshire Bahamas Farms is to, one, be able to feed our people and to inspire others to understand that let's be able to source our own food.
The
reality of the agricultural industry in the Bahamas is that it's riddled with challenges. Despite the challenges, there are numerous opportunities. We have created Wilmata Fungus in order to not only profit, but also to do our small part in trying to fight food security in the Bahamas. Wilmata Fungus was founded in 2020. We wanted to do something that was unique with a twist of Bahamian. So the main varieties of mushroom that we grow currently, we grow pink oyster, gold oyster, blue oysters, and shiitake. We also grow Italian oysters, and we're expanding into lion's mane and a few other medicinal varieties currently. You can find us in a number of local restaurants. We're also found throughout the Bahama Islands. We're in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera, Exuma, Freeport, from the super high-end to your neighborhood cafe. I personally find it quite fascinating how these individual restaurants and individuals who buy our mushroom, every single one is unique. From tacos, burgers, and it's all inspired by those individuals. And we really appreciate the relationship that we have with our customers. The support from Access Accelerator has been paramount to our business, and we really appreciate it. And working along with them, there's so many individuals within that organization dedicated to the success of young businesses. It has really been a very important and crucial part of our journey. Our goals now moving forward is to really incorporate that more into the everyday diet of Bahamians. So our goal is to really push that and get more individuals to buy and patronize the business.
I grew up coming to Exuma year after year with my grandparents, and now years later, I'm able to come back home and show the world what Exuma has to offer through Hydro Water Sports. Hydro Water Sports is a company that was founded in 2018. I had a product, the Hydro Bike, which is a unique bicycle on pontoons. It's amazing, it's flexible, it's stable, it's buoyant, and it's just so much fun. It just wants to bring the best experience in the best waters of the Bahamas. So it's a tour company, it's a rental company, it's something that brings a new experience to people of all ages and walks of life. What makes Hydro Water Sports stand out is the fact that we don't necessarily go the normal route. So wherever it is you want to go, whatever it is that you want to do, you're able to do that. If you want to have our bikes come to your house, to wherever you are, we're able to do that. So we allow people to be flexible in what it is that they want to experience. We allow persons to create their own tour. Access Accelerator has been awesome, and I needed to get to a point where I needed to start bigger than I had in mind at first. Access was able to fund my business, to bring in more bikes, to bring in my trailer, and to have this be a successful operation from day one. Hydro Water Sports wants to start to spread its wings. We want to move into more islands of the Bahamas. We want to move and bring new products to our fleet. We don't want the standard, we want the exceptional, we want the extraordinary, we want what is brand new, we want Hydro.
I'm the first funded client of the Small Business Development Center and the owner of Drive Green Car Rentals. Drive Green Car Rentals is an all-electric car rental company that was launched really primarily with the environment in mind. So the SBDC has been really crucial in terms of both our launch and our expansion over the last few years. The SBDC really took that initial jump and they said, you know something, we're looking for new businesses. We're looking for something that hasn't been done before. We're looking for something creative. Getting that call and knowing that there's somebody out there who actually wanted to go ahead and take that leap of faith with us was really exciting, and it was a big moment for us. I think one of my best lessons that I would have learned with my time at the SBDC is just don't mind what other people are saying, don't mind the noise in the marketplace, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing in business, there will be naysayers, but as long as you have a product and you have a brand that you believe in and that you're passionate about, there will always be a way, and through SBDC, we'll make sure that it happens.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our side wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme now, Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out. To anyone inspiring to do what I've done, or what my colleagues have done, or any other journey, I would say to you, don't be afraid. The worst someone can actually tell you is no. So if you have a vision, you have an idea, not everyone will get it. But if you believe in your vision, you believe in your idea, I say go wholeheartedly at it.
For more information about the Creative Entrepreneurs Initiative and the Crafting the Bahamas workshops, email info@sbdcbahamas.com or call us at 461-7232.
Since I've been engaged with the SBDC, not only have I gained tremendous business information, but the support that they give you for helping me to do the proper business step-by-step protocols. They're there to assist you. I can call my advisors anytime and they are willing to help. To navigate these waters is very tough if you don't have any information or any help. SBDC, they walk you through it. Not only do they walk you through it, they get you in contact with people, networking me, getting me involved with other small businesses. But support, number one, is the main thing. The money is also great. So a live business for us has been crucial, mainly because they're receptive to our needs. They respond to what we want, where we rely on the internet, we rely on the phones heavily, we rely on money transfers through our website. The live business, the SBDC, has been there, and I think that they're beneficial to us.
Growing up as a kid, I always had an interest and passion for animals. Access Accelerator was able to afford us the opportunity to turn a vision into a reality. Not just farm, but create a business. And then Berkshire Bahamas Farms was birthed. So the Berkshire, they're black pigs with upright ears, and they have white socks on their feet. So we'll have two different types of products. We'll have the full breed Berkshires, and then we'll also have the crossbred. And of course the Berkshires will have a higher price tag on it. And animals have feelings too. We have a philosophy of happy until harvest. Outside of the pigs for pork, the chickens for eggs, we also have a community aspect where people can come out, do farm tours throughout the week. Schools, they bring the students out, they can learn about where their food comes from. One of the main customers of ours is Flying Fish Gastro Bar. They get our product and they turn it into a meal on their table. So the farm-to-table aspect works very well. Working with Access Accelerator has been a blessing. After Hurricane Dorian and being in the middle of COVID-19, we were able to add funding for construction to build our pen that we have, purchased a lot of property that we're using. We were able to source a farm truck and tools with the training that we're able to use to better our finances and business plan. So the overall goal for Berkshire Bahamas Farms is to, one, be able to feed our people and to inspire others to understand that let's be able to source our own food.
The reality of the agricultural industry in the Bahamas is that it's riddled with challenges. Despite the challenges, there are numerous opportunities. We have created Mother Fungus in order to not only profit, but also to do our small part in trying to fight food security in the Bahamas. Mother Fungus was founded in 2020. We wanted to do something that was unique with a twist of Bahamian. So the main varieties of mushroom that we grow currently, we grow pink oyster, gold oyster, blue oysters, and shiitake. We also grow Italian oysters, and we're expanding into lion's mane and a few other medicinal varieties currently. You can find us in a number of local restaurants. We're also found throughout the Bahama Islands. We're in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera, Exuma, Freeport, from the super high-end to your neighborhood cafe. I personally find it quite fascinating how these individual restaurants and individuals who buy our mushroom, every single one is unique. From tacos, burgers, and it's all inspired by those individuals. And we really appreciate the relationship that we have with our customers. The support from Access Accelerator has been paramount to our business. And we really appreciate it, and working along with them, there's so many individuals within that organization dedicated to the success of young businesses. It has really been a very important and crucial part of our journey. Our goals now moving forward is to really incorporate that more into the everyday diet of Bahamians. So our goal is to really push that and get more individuals to buy and patronize the business.
I grew up coming to Exuma year after year with my grandparents, and now years later, I'm able to come back home and show the world what Exuma has to offer through Hydro Water Sports. Hydro Water Sports is a company that was founded in 2018. I had a product, the Hydro Bike, which is a unique bicycle on pontoons. It's amazing, it's flexible, it's stable, it's buoyant, and it's just so much fun. It just wants to bring the best experience in the best waters of the Bahamas. So it's a tour company, it's a rental company, it's something that brings a new experience to people of all ages and walks of life. What makes Hydro Water Sports stand out is the fact that we don't necessarily go the normal route. So wherever it is you want to go, whatever it is that you want to do, you're able to do that. If you want to have our bikes come to your house, to wherever you are, we're able to do that. So we allow people to be flexible in what it is that they want to experience. We allow persons to create their own tour. Access Accelerator has been awesome, and I needed to get to a point where I needed to start bigger than I had in mind at first. Access was able to fund my business, to bring in more bikes, to bring in my trailer, and to have this be a successful operation from day one. Hydro Water Sports wants to start to spread its wings. We want to move into more islands of the Bahamas. We want to move and bring new products to our fleet. We don't want the standard, we want the exceptional, we want the extraordinary, we want what is brand new, we want Hydro.
Good evening to all. Good evening to everyone that has joined this call. I'm just doing a quick sound check. Can everyone hear me? You drop your answers in the chat below. All right, great. I see a large amount of yeses coming through. So that means we're connected and good to go. So my name is Ahmad Young. I'm a business analyst here at the SBDC. And today we're going to be having our second info session on the Men in Business Initiative. We're going to be detailing, what exactly the initiative entails, as well as all the details and information necessary to apply for the Men in Business Standalone Grant. And then most importantly, we will have a question and answer period after I go through a brief presentation so that we can answer all of those burning questions that you all have regarding this initiative. All righty. All righty. Now, can everyone in the chat let me know if they can see my screen? Just want to make sure everyone can see what's on the screen, can see the presentation. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Answers are rolling through. All righty, good stuff. All righty, so to get started, welcome once again. So about us. The Small Business Development Center is a nonprofit, government-subsidized organization that was established in September 2018. Our mission is to support the evolution of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in order to drive a resilient and robust economy. Our mission is critical because MSMEs account for 98% of all business license, and MSMEs employ 47% of the country's workforce, as well as contribute to 20%, between 20 to 30% of our gross domestic product. So what is the Men in Business Initiative? This initiative was designed in direct response to the unique challenges and opportunities identified by businessmen throughout the Bahamas. One may ask how we identified these challenges and opportunities. We conducted the Men in Business survey, a gender equality survey, to see from both genders what is needed in terms of support for entrepreneurs. So here is some more information regarding the Men in Business Standalone Grant. We would have launched the initiative on September 30th, a few weeks ago. And with this grant, businesses are allowed to apply to up to $10,000 in standalone grant funding. Eligibility for the grant depended on completing these three fundamental steps before November 1st. One was completing the Business Blueprint training course and the modules associated with them. That course would have started back on September 30th, 2024, and is currently underway. And in order to qualify for the grant, you would need to actively participate and complete these 10 training modules. For those of you who have participated in previous programs and completed the Business Blueprint training course already, you would have already completed 7 of these 10 training modules, meaning that you only have to complete the additional 3 if you participated in the Business Blueprint training course before. If you have never participated in our Business Blueprint training course, then you would have to complete all 10 of the training modules. And the deadline to complete the last training module is on November 1st, 2024. Next, you would have to attend the Empower Men Business Forum. So save the date if you haven't already. This forum will be held on November 19th, 2024, and will delve into modern aspects of entrepreneurship. It would also allow you a chance to kind of mix and mingle and connect with like-minded peers, allow you to share ideas and explore possible collaborations and partnerships in a dynamic setting. Now remember, in order to qualify for the Men in Business Standalone Grant, attendance is mandatory. So those who are in the Providence, that's where the forum will be held. In-person attendance is mandatory if you are based in New Providence and in New Providence. For those who are on the Family Island, we will facilitate you joining us virtually so that we have a way to track those of you who've joined with us virtually. Additionally, you must also participate in our gender equality survey. We opened up the survey on September 30th, and the deadline to complete that survey is also November 1st, 2024. These 3 items are key before filling out the actual grant application, because that's what's gonna make you eligible. Now, once you've signed up for the module training course and actively completing your modules, once you've completed your survey and you've allotted time and signed up for the Empowerment Business Forum, you would have to have these required documents on hand to fill out the actual grant application. You will need an executive summary. You will also need a current, emphasis on current business license. And if you're an incorporated business, you'll need to see at least a shareholders register. You'll need a valid passport photo page to be uploaded, a proof of address, whether it be a utility bill or a voter's card, and then upload, which is also very important, your vendor invoices and your wire instructions from whom you're getting your goods and services from. Now, what do I mean when I say vendor invoices and wire instructions? Let me stop right there and break that down. A proper vendor invoice should include, 1, the business's name. It should include the price of the products and services that you're getting. And it also should include proper wire instructions. In order to be considered for the Men in Business Standalone Grant, the wire instructions that you include with your invoice must be to a business bank account, meaning the name on that account must be a business name. Otherwise, it would not be valid. So even if the owner's name is on the business bank account of the wire instructions of the vendor that you're looking to use, we cannot use it because technically that's a personal account. We need whatever vendor you're using to have proper wire instructions and have a business bank account with a business in the name of the bank account. I know there's probably a lot of questions in the chat, but I'll get to those as we roll more towards the end. But the deadline to submit this grant application is on November 1st, 2024. All applicants will receive their approval or denial notifications by December 13th, 2024. So what can you request funding for? You could request funding for things like leasehold improvement, production equipment, raw materials, accounting software, and corporation fees. All of these items on screen are some examples of some things that you can request via the Men in Business Standalone Grant. But make sure that they're coming from A proper vendor provides proper vendor invoices as well as proper wire instructions. So, the Men in Business Standalone Grant is not the only time that we've been funding male-owned businesses. We funded quite a large amount of male-owned businesses here in the Bahamas so far. So since its inception, we've approved over more than 1,000 male-owned business owners for just over more than $53 million. Most of those were existing businesses, but we've also funded some startups, about 24% startup, 76% existing. And some of the top 5 funded industries for male-owned businesses in the Bahamas through the SBDC include, food and beverage, construction is a real male-dominated industry, transportation, fishing, and professional services. And we've funded male-owned businesses all throughout the country, not just New Providence, but also Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, Andros, Long Island, Exuma, San Salvador, and so many others. So here's a few success stories that you may have saw during our video. This is Kwaku Simonet, and he is the proprietor of Sign Island. He would have received assistance through the SBDC. Additionally, we have Mr. Derek Sands, who is the proprietor of ShipX, very popular shipping company here in Nassau and Providence. And also Mr. Julian Smith, the owner and proprietor of New Life Natural Company. He would have received assistance with us through the SBDC. So on screen now are some QR codes. The first one we're going to look at is the Gender Equality Survey. I'm going to leave it up for a while, and it is important to complete the survey because, one, it gives us valuable data to use as the SBDC, but also if you don't fill out the survey, you won't be qualified to apply for the Men in Business Standalone Grant. Additionally, you can scan this QR code, and don't worry if I'm going too fast. I'm going to go back for those who need to, but you can scan this QR code as well to sign up for the Blueprint training course. This is the registration form for the Blueprint training course that's needed for the Men in Business Initiative. And then lastly, this would be our QR code for the standalone grant application. Now, remember, before applying for the standalone grant application, be sure that you've signed up for the Blueprint training course, be sure that you've completed the survey, and also be sure to make sure set aside and sign up for the Empowerment Forum. That is on November 19th, 2024. So save the date. And if you have any further questions that has not been answered through this presentation or does not get answered tonight, because we're going to do question and answers tonight as well, please be sure to send an email to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. And also be sure to visit our website, www.sbdcbahamas.com. And also be sure to follow us on all social media platforms for announcements as well. So Facebook, Instagram at SBDC Bahamas. All righty. I think it's time that we go to the chat, and I'm going to open it up for questions. So let me see. The first question that I'm seeing says, is the training program going to be offered before November 1st? Yes, the Blueprint training course is already open. It's been open from September 30th, 2024, and it needs to be completed before November 1st. So it needs to be completed before the November 1st deadline. Is the forum also going to be offered in Grand Bahama as well? For all Family Island participants, the forum is going to be available virtually for everyone to join and sign up. Next question I'm seeing is, can you please put up the scan code? That's no problem. Let me go back. Here's the scan code for the Gender Equality Survey. I'll leave it up for a while. Righty. So, and if you have any further questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. I actually do have a correction to make. The deadline for the grant and training has actually been extended to November 8th. So you actually have up to November 8th to complete the module training course now, and up to November 8th to complete the grant application. So I see a question here. I see that the grant application says business plan on the website, but your presentation says executive summary. So just want some clarity. So yes, we do have an option to upload the business plan on the grant application. But if I'm not mistaken, it is not a mandatory thing that you have to upload. The executive summary, however, is a mandatory thing that you have to upload. But uploading your business plan, it can't hurt your application. So we just have a spot for you to upload it just in case you have one. But the only thing that's mandatory in regards of the business plan executive summary is the executive summary part. Not seeing the scan code. I have it up on the screen now. Let me change it and go back. Can you see the scan code now? For those who doesn't see it. Okay, here's another question that I have gotten. Does the bank account have to be a registered business bank account or an account associated with your business? So when I say that the bank account has to be a business bank account, it has to have the name of your vendor, the business name of your vendor, and the actual wire instructions name. So for example, let's say that you're using a company named, let's say ABC Company. When you go to fill out those wire instructions and they ask you for the name on the bank account, it must say ABC Company because that's the name on your invoice. It shouldn't say DEF Company or XYZ Company, even though they might be related. It must say what is on the vendor invoice. It must be a business bank account. Now remember, funds from the grant application, if approved, will not be transferred to personal accounts, and it also will not be transferred to the business bank account of the applicant. Funds will only be transferred to the vendor of choice, just so that we be sure that you are getting what you need for your business through this grant application. Alrighty, getting some good dialogue now. The questions starting to roll. This is a great question, right? What if you don't have a business license yet, but are in the process of getting one? Will you still be eligible? So this is a great question. If you do not have a business license yet, meaning that you're a startup, you can still apply for the Men in Business Standalone Grant application. However, when you get to the section of that grant application that asks you for a business plan, you have to upload proof that you have applied for your business license already and it's being processed. Or if you have a expired business license and you're trying to renew it and it just hasn't been processed as yet, you have to upload that proof that it's still in process. So if you don't have a business license as yet, but in the process of getting one, you still could be eligible to apply for the grant. Can you drop the links for the QR codes in the chat, please? That is something that I can try to do. Let me see if that is possible because these QR codes are images. Let me see if I can actually drop that in the chat to help everybody out. That's no problem. Is a Grand Bahama Port Authority business license accepted? Yes, a Grand Bahama Port Authority business license can be accepted through the Men in Business Grant application. That's only for Grand Bahama based businesses. Okay, good stuff. All right, everyone's creative minds are going off now. I see a lot of questions coming through the chat now. I'm gonna try to get to everyone. Let's see. Okay, good. For those who are not computer savvy, is there any available assistance? For those who may not be so technically savvy, but still want to participate, you know, in the module training program, the assistance filling out the grant application, be sure to, I'm going to put the screen back up, to give us a call. when our offices are open between 9 to 5. And then also, if you can, send an email with your request. That'll also help as well. So we can see how best to facilitate it. The email is helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. And I'm going to shortly put the screen back up so that you can see the telephone contact as well. Let's see. And if I miss a question, please just copy and paste the question and send it over to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. Just in case I miss a question. I do apologize. Is it possible to provide more than one vendor bank account? Yes, it's possible to provide more than one vendor bank account if you're using more than one invoice. So for example, let's say that you want to apply for multiple things with the up to $10,000 grant funding you can apply for. And let's say you want to use 3 separate vendors to make up your grant application amount. You can upload 3 separate wire instructions, but they all must fit the valid wire instructions criterion, meaning they have to be a valid and operating business. The wire instructions must have the business name as the name on the bank account. Is there any restrictions to foreign vendors? So we do not discriminate with foreign vendors. However, if you are on the fence about if a vendor will be accepted, I do encourage you to just send an email to help desk just to confirm, because you can never be too safe. Because there are 1 or 2 vendors that we generally won't accept. But just to be sure, I would send an email to help desk to confirm. But we do encourage you to also source locally if you can. If not, be sure that the vendor that you're looking at is one company that has a good reputation, and be sure that they can provide you with both an invoice and a valid set of wire instructions. And do your research on these vendors as well before just submitting applications. We don't want you to apply for the grant and possibly get approved just to get burned by not doing enough research on a vendor. So be sure to do your due diligence when looking at these foreign vendors. But for that case, we also encourage you to stay local, because it's easier to get things local if possible. What type of business can disqualify me? So the type of businesses that can disqualify you are those that don't fall under the SMME guideline. So if you employ more than 50 people and you bring in more than $5 million in revenue, you do not qualify as an MSME, and you cannot apply for the Men in Business Standalone Grant, as well as those businesses that don't fall in accordance with our guidelines. For example, things like tobacco companies, things like gambling, and things like that would not qualify as a business that we could fund through the SBDC. And if you're still on the fence about if your business qualifies to apply for the standalone grant, like I said, just shoot an email to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com and we can confirm directly. It's better to be sure than not to be sure. So I encourage you, if there's a specific question, a specific business that you want to make sure qualifies before going through the application process, please be sure to reach out. By the way, people are trying to enter through the meeting ID, but it was sending us to class meetings. Okay, let me see if I can assist with that. You said that everyone is trying to join through the meeting ID, but it's sending us to the class meetings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the webinar link, the webinar we're currently in. I'm going to drop the webinar link in the chat right now. So if you know someone is trying to enter and probably went into the class meeting thinking it was a class instead of the webinar, you can just forward this link on to them that I just dropped. Okay, let me go back up. Thank you, Miss Evans would have dropped the link to the survey in the chat. So if anyone still needs the link for the survey, it's in the chat currently. Let me see as I scroll through and peruse questions. Is there any way to get a listing of all the participants in this program so that when this is over and the group can collaborate with each other and maybe join forces to create a business as a group or team, and maybe create a support group to continue sharing ideas? That is a great question. Unfortunately, I can't just give a full list of all the participants in the program because some of that might be some confidential information. Some people may not want their name shared. However, through the program, the Business Blueprint Training course, and especially the Empowerment Forum, that'll provide a great opportunity to connect and kind of network. Everyone can allow everyone to network for themselves and to meet like-minded people. So whoever asked that question, I implore you to please attend the Empowerment Business Forum. That'll be a great opportunity to network and create some strategic partnerships, as well as be proactive in the Men in Business Blueprint Training module. Be proactive in your groups, be proactive with your mentors, and you'll find that you'll come across a lot of like-minded people like yourself who you could do business with and also form some personal relationships with as well. Okay. Another question that I'm seeing is, I may have started filling out some applications already. Is it possible that you can send what you have from me already? I may have to edit them. Now that depends. If our application is already submitted and you need to make amendments to it, then I would say just send an email to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com so the amendments can be made. However, if you've just started the application and not necessarily hitting submit, but you have the entries saved, you can go in anytime and amend them. And if you require assistance with just making sure something is right, you're unsure if you uploaded the right thing, you're unsure if something may be accepted, give us a call. Be sure to send an email. We're very receptive, especially we're very responsive with our emails, especially. They're a lot easier to get to, but they also allow for us to kind of see what's needed in a listed format. So I encourage you, if you have any specific questions, specific things that you're confused on, be sure to reach out to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. Okay. I missed the first 2 assignment deadlines. Am I still eligible for the grant? Or is it the November 1st deadline, the deadline for all of them can be completed? No, that November 1st deadline is for the last assignment. That's when the last assignment is going to close. And I don't know if you just joined, but that deadline has actually been extended for both the completion of the last module in the Business Blueprint Training course and the actual grant application form. That deadline has now been extended to November 8th. We've extended that to November 8th. So by November 8th, that's when the last modules should be submitted in regards as to whether you need to complete those first 2 assignments, but it still make you eligible for the grant. I would reach out to speak to your mentor if you're in the mentor group, in your mentors group already, and also send an email to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com just so we could follow up and make sure that you're still eligible. All righty, we got a lot of questions fire, and I like this. I'm loving it. Let me see. We have someone in from Eleuthera who says their signal keeps dropping. What business type is the organization looking for? We are open to startups and existing businesses, but you just have to make sure that you are MSME that falls within our guidelines. What is an MSME? It's a micro, small, or medium-sized enterprise. What makes you one of those? You have to generate less than $5 million in revenue. So if you make more than $5 million in revenue, not profit, revenue, you're no longer MSME. You have to employ less than 51 people. So if you're employing more than 50 people, you're not an MSME anymore. You don't qualify. So by law, that is what qualifies MSME here in the Bahamas. Any business that employs less than 50 people and makes less than $5 million in revenue. Would funding for shipping be available as well as for vendors outside of the Bahamas? So what I would recommend is if you want to include shipping in your grant application and want to get that included as a part of what you need, I'd recommend going through a broker and making sure all of that is on a broker invoice. What that allows for is it allows you to one, apply for those things that you need from abroad and making sure that you have a valid vendor, and then also factoring in the shipping costs into that invoice so that when you upload that invoice for the grant application, you could then get your shipping costs included. However, if you just upload the vendor invoice straight from the vendor without the shipping invoice included, that may pose an issue because we need a valid vendor invoice and we need a valid wire instruction. And you want to be sure that whatever shipping company you use to bring these stuff in has those. If not, I would recommend going through a broker in order to get shipping costs included into your grant application. Can I display the other QR code? Yeah, that's no problem. Again, if I miss a question or two or I don't see it, it's not on purpose. Just be sure to shoot an email over to helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com. If I missed your question, or if you have a very specific question that you want to ask, then needs a little bit more attention. What about small business companies that do not have a business bank account as yet? Well, if you as a small business who is applying for the grant doesn't have a small business bank account as yet, I don't foresee it being an issue for applying for the grant. But if the vendor that you're using doesn't have a business bank account as yet, then we're going to have some issues there because no vendor will be considered that doesn't have proper wire instructions or doesn't have a business account in their name. So if you're planning to use a smaller company and they may do some good work, may have some great service, but they don't necessarily have a business bank account, they are not a valid vendor under this program. We cannot use them under this program. So I recommend, looking to use another vendor in that case. And if you as the business owner don't have a business bank account as yet, I would also implore you to apply for opening a business bank account, not just for this program, but just as a business owner in general. You want to be sure to separate personal funds from business funds. Can a portion of the grant be used for port license, renewal, or restoration? Also, can a portion of the grant be used for like business license renewal? No, unfortunately not. You either have to submit payment and upload that proof of payment and proof of application to renew the license as a part of your grant application. That can be used. Let's say you don't have your valid licenses yet, but you've applied for it and already paid for it. That would make you still qualify for applying. But if you don't have a valid one and need us to pay for that through the grant application, that would not be possible. So question, would a blockchain or crypto business qualify? If they fall under the MSME guidelines, about the SME guidelines, and then also meet our criterion, they can qualify. They can qualify and apply. Just be sure that you're completing all of the necessary documents that we spoke about in the presentation earlier, being survey, signing up for the Empowerment Business Forum, and also completing the business blueprint training course. And be sure that you have proper vendor invoices for those kind of businesses and applying for that. Okay, what are some of the supporting documents to show that we are in the process of getting our business license? So if you're applying for a business license through the Department of Inland Revenue, the first thing that you would have to do is get your trade name approved if it's a brand new business. And then after that, that's when you actually go through the steps of applying for the actual business license. So I could actually, so once you apply for the actual business license, they send you a notification to say that, hey, that it's processing. And then you also have to pay your fee. So once you get that notification that, hey, you're processing for your actual business license, not the trade name approval, but the actual business license itself, that will qualify as showing that you're in the process of getting your business license. When we submit assignments, how many persons have access to our information? Is there a disclosure policy? So if you're submitting assignments, the only persons that would have access to the information would be the internal SBDC team, because we obviously have to check to make sure that, assignments have been submitted, and also we would be the ones reviewing your application. So it'd be an internal, internally within the team, and we do have a disclosure policy. So yes, your data is safe with us. Nothing will be released anywhere without the permission of the entrepreneur. If you are not selected for the grant, can one still apply for the regular loan process at the SBDC? Yes, very much yes. So we do have a flagship program that's available all year round, which is a guaranteed loan program. So what the guaranteed loan program allows for, it allows for all SMEs to apply for loan funding facilitated through the flagship program, anywhere between $30,000 and $500,000 in loan funding, up to $500,000. However, in some special cases, we can allow up to $1 million in loan funding, but those are on a case-by-case basis. But yes, if you don't get approved for the grant and you still need funding for your business, the guaranteed loan program is a wonderful option. And I encourage those of you who need funding for your business, more funding for your business, to apply through the guaranteed loan program, because it's a wonderful route to go to get further funding. Where is the sign up for the seminars? Go back. So we're waiting to release. Let me see. I don't have the QR code up for the seminar, but like I said, just be on the lookout and follow our social media pages in regards to more information regarding the seminar. Okay, this is a great question that I see coming in. What if your product costs around 30,000, 30 grand, and will the SBDC give more than 10 grand for startups? And if not, will you send the money to the applicant as a down payment to help the applicant get a loan? Okay, so let's say that the applicant needs $30,000 in total funding, right? And the standalone grant only offers up to $10,000 in loan funding. You can still apply for the standalone grant as well as the guaranteed loan program. But if you get approved for the grant, it can't be used as a down payment on that loan. It can't be used as a down payment on that loan. And that extends into another point that I'm sure that a lot of people are going to ask about. Let's say you just need more than 10 grand. Let's say 10 grand is not enough for your business idea. You could still apply for the program. You could still, in theory, get approved for the grant. And if you need further funding, you can go through the guaranteed loan program to apply and get that further funding. That's not a problem as well. It doesn't disqualify you from getting the grant. It doesn't make you ineligible for applying for this grant. You can still apply for the grant and the guaranteed loan program at the same time. Where to get the application. So I have the application QR code on screen right now. The application QR code is on screen right now. We also have posted the actual links to our Facebook pages. We have the information on our website as well. So if you don't catch it in this presentation, be sure to visit our social media pages and visit the SBDCBahamas.com website. And if you are having trouble finding them there, then just shoot us an email at helpdesk@SBDCBahamas.com. And we'll be sure to send the links right back to you in case you're having trouble finding them where we have them posted. Should the executive summary include financials, past and forecasted future? The executive summary typically doesn't include financials. That would more so be an aspect of a business plan. like I say, uploading your business plan can't hurt your application at all. So if you have one and you want to upload it, you can do so. But the only thing that's required in terms of the business plan executive summary is that executive summary page. An executive summary typically should be between 1 and 2 pages, no more than 3. Even 3 is stretching it, but between 1 and 2 pages is the perfect length and amount for the executive summary. And they don't need to be including financials. If successful in obtaining this $10,000 grant, can you apply again in the future for expansion or a different business? Yes, you can apply for the guaranteed loan program. If approved, then you require further funding. And getting approved through this program will not necessarily disqualify you from any upcoming grant programs in the future. But for this particular program, we're trying to lean leaning more towards first-time applicants for this program. But in future programs, it wouldn't disqualify you. You can still apply. Can someone send the link to the application? You see? See if we can drop the link. If you have a bank loan, can you still get an SBDC loan? Yes. If you do have a loan with the bank, you still can apply through the guaranteed loan program for a loan. However, we just have to make sure that your loan is current and up to date, because through the guaranteed loan program, we have a lot of strategic partnerships with some of these financial institutions, and we have to make sure that we are up to date and current with our loans before moving forward with the guaranteed loan application. What's the highest amount of the grant we can apply for? For this particular program, you can apply up to $10,000 for the Men in Business Standalone Grant Program. So this is another great question. Hey, I just got bumped off, log back in. You're mentioning something about the seminar. Is there any information about the time of day that it's scheduled for and the venue so that persons can plan appropriately? And those that are employed can request the day off. So the exact time and venue has not been confirmed as yet. The date is November 19, 2024. However, I can guarantee that this will be a day event. This will be something that's occurring throughout the day. Like I would say from like roughly keep the schedules open between like 9 to 5 if you can, because this is definitely going to be during the day. I don't think this will be a nighttime event. But in terms of exact time and venue, just be on the lookout for our social media pages and posts as to when we will be hosting the Empowerment Forum, but save the date, November 19, 2024, have the date saved. I'll say that part again about the, oops, sorry, it moved. Say the part again about the executive summary, I missed it. So when I was speaking about the executive summary, I was saying that that is the main document that needs to be uploaded when talking about an executive summary and business plan. A full business plan is not mandatory for this particular application. You just need an executive summary. An executive summary is typically between 1 and 2 pages, no more than 3, and even 3 is stretching it. But 1 to 2 pages is perfect for an executive summary. You don't need any projected financials. You don't need a full business plan. Those things can help your application. It wouldn't hurt your application, but they're not mandatory. You just need the executive summary to be uploaded. How does one apply for the guaranteed loan program? So to apply for the guaranteed loan program, you would need to just fill out the, I closed out the chat on accident. To apply for the guaranteed loan program, you would just complete the guaranteed loan program application. That would be the first step. And for that program, you would require to have a business plan prepared. In order to get through the guaranteed loan program, you'd have to have a proper business plan prepared. So like how someone posed a question earlier regarding if they need a business plan to apply for the grant program, no, it's not necessary. You do need an executive summary, that's mandatory, but for the guaranteed loan program, a full-on business plan would be necessary. Can you apply for this grant if you wanted to get training, a training certification for an industry you wish to business in? For that question, like I said, I would direct that one to help desk at SBDC Bahamas to get further information on that. I'm not quite sure on that one, so I would direct that to the email, the company email, so that we can see if that's something that we can do for you. What island? Okay, I see someone say what island. I'm thinking you're referring to the Empowerment Business Forum when you say what island. It's going to be held here in New Providence. So those who are in New Providence and need to attend the Empowerment Business Forum, in-person attendance is mandatory. For those who are on the Family Island, we will set it up virtually as a way for you to join. For those of you who are in New Providence, attendance is mandatory. In-person attendance is mandatory. Is there a limit to the number of grants and loans someone can receive from the SBDC if one was to seek to start up multiple businesses at the same time that meet the MSME criteria? Theoretically, there isn't a limit. However, it's not generally recommended to start up multiple businesses at one time. As an entrepreneur, it requires so much love and care to take care of one business, but starting multiple at the same time, we would not be doing our professional due diligence to advise someone to do that unless there's just some extenuating circumstance where you got a brilliant idea and it's just a good time to do that. But generally, that's not something that's accepted or that's not advisable. We wouldn't advise you to do that. That's a really heavy lift to take, taking out multiple loans and grants to start multiple businesses at the same time. In theory, you can apply for them, but it's not recommended. Alrighty. Would there be an opportunity to pitch your idea for a panel, or would your approval? I was reading the question and it moved. Sorry about that. Would there be opportunity to pitch your idea before a panel, or would your approval be based on the assignments and your executive summary? Now, for the grant application itself, you would not be able to just go before a panel to pitch your idea. However, in relation to the Empowerment Business Forum that we're also having a Titans pitch competition. So it's a pitch competition that'll have a prize as well. And that's something that you can, prepare a pitch for and actually look to pitch for a prize for, if that's something that you're looking to do as well. And that's apart from the actual grant application. That's something that you can do as well. So we're going to be having a pitch competition along with the Empowerment Forum. So that's something to also be on the lookout for. And also with the Guaranteed Loan Program application, that loan application has a aspect of it to whereas you go before our investment committee and present your idea after the application process in order to get an approval of yes or no on the guarantee for the guaranteed loan. There's a few other steps. I'm speaking in short here. If you need further information, there's a full document on our website regarding the Guaranteed Loan Program and all the steps you need to take to apply for that application. But that aspect has a pitch component at the end where you pitch your idea to the board, and that'll determine whether you get the guaranteed loan or not. Can the payment be used as partial payment for equipment if we pay for the remainder of the invoice? So yeah, if you want to apply for a grant application and we only offer up to $10,000, for example, and there's a piece of equipment you're looking to buy and it costs $25,000, still upload that particular invoice so we know how much it costs. If approved, we could pay up to $10,000, and then you could put the remainder. Or like we say, if you want to, we'd encourage you to also go through the Guaranteed Loan Program. That's another avenue that you can take as well. But that is something that you can do. Again, if I miss a question, I know we're coming towards the end here. Forgive me, but you can just copy and paste your question straight from the chat into your email and send it to helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com if I have missed a question. Just keep going, keep going. Assist grant for men of all ages. Yes, if it's a male-owned business and it's an MSME and operates here in the Bahamas, it qualifies for applying for this particular program. All right. Alrighty. So unfortunately, we have run out of time today. We've gotten some great questions, some great feedback within the chat today, and I'm appreciative for that. I'm appreciative for everyone that has joined. If I may have missed a question, please be sure to send an email at helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com so that we could get all of your queries answered and be sure that everyone is provided clarity on the information that is needed. If there is anything that we can do to assist, also feel free to give us a call, 461-7232 during office hours, and we'll be able to assist. And also be on the lookout via our social media pages and our website for any updates that may be posted. It's SBDC Bahamas, at SBDC Bahamas on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those good stuff. And then be sure to look up our website, sbdcbahamas.com. Repeat that number. I'll actually also drop the number in the chat as well. 242-461-7232. That's the telephone contact for us at the SBDC office. This has been great. This has been a great information session. Alrighty. Like I say, if you have any further questions, please be sure to reach out to us. You have been a very proactive group tonight, and I really appreciate that. Everyone have a blessed night.
I'm the first funded client of the Small Business Development Center and the owner of Drive Green Car Rentals. Drive Green Car Rentals is an all-electric car rental company that was launched really primarily with the environment in mind. So the SBDC has been really crucial in terms of both our launch and our expansion over the last few years. The SBDC really took that initial jump and they said, you know, we're looking for new businesses. We're looking for something that hasn't been done before. We're looking for something creative. Getting that call and knowing that there's somebody out there that actually wanted to go ahead and take that leap of faith with us was really exciting, and it was a big moment for us. I think one of my best lessons that I would have learned with my time at the SBDC is just don't mind what other people are saying, don't mind the noise in the marketplace, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing in business, there will be naysayers, but as long as you have a product and you have a brand that you believe in and that you're passionate about, there will always be a way, and through SBDC, we'll make sure that it happens.
At Frame Studio, as soon as you enter the door, we showcase any individual that comes in there and make it feel like they are at home. The space itself is 1,800 square foot. Our site wall, which is industry standard also, is 24 feet wide. You can do anything that you can possibly think of. At Frame Studio, under our theme now, Create More, we look at Frame Studio as a canvas. And any artist knows a canvas is blank and then you create whatever you want to do, right? So we have where you could rent tools. We even have workstations that people could rent out to anyone inspiring to do what I've